Hi guys, how's it going? It's Adam here with another one of my aviation videos. Today we're going to be flying Sitka Approach, which is one of the missions on Microsoft Flight Simulator. I made two videos before this, so if you haven't seen them yet, there'll be a link in the description to both of them, and I'll also put a caption in the left hand corner of the screen. That'll take you to the previous video, and from there you'll be able to go on to the next one as well. When I make my next video, I'll put a link on the video, I'll edit again, and I'll put a link on this video, so then in the top right hand corner will be the next video. I'm not sure whether that'll be yet, but hopefully it'll be pretty good. So in this video, the air traffic control usually tells you to follow the caravan that's in front of us. The Cessna Caravan usually tells you to follow them in roundabouts. Now they're just coming round to final. Instead of following it around completely, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on left over the mountains a little bit. That'll be a bit later in the video. I'm going to go left over the mountains, which is what I usually do when I do this flight. And that way it'll give us a bit of a easier lineup for final. Sometimes you can tweak what the air traffic control tell you. Obviously you have to remember it's a simulator, so you can kind of do whatever as long as you think it would be safe and you think that's something you'd actually do in real life. You don't want to just come down on the wrong runway or something like that, but bending over to the left a little bit more to make it easier for you to line up to final, as long as you're looking out for traffic anywhere else. I usually look in a 2 nautical mile distance from me before I do much maneuvers. If you do that, you're fine, and it makes landing a lot easier. So here I'm just going up to the left a tiny bit. I don't want to do it too much, so we'll just go right a little bit more. So you want to keep the caravan in about the middle of your sight, but depending on where you're going, he might be at the right of you a lot of the time when you're turning left. This is what I'm doing now. He's in the right. If you see, he's just behind my compass now. From my view, there he is. So you don't have to go by what they tell you, but it's good to. Another thing that I've done is I've realized that when I do these missions with headphones on, you can't hear the air traffic control after when you're editing them. I videoed this once before, just about 10 minutes ago, and I had a look at it to have a preview of this one, and I realized that there's no air traffic control at all. I don't know if that's good for you guys, if you like that or not, but I think it's great. That way you can hear more of the plane's engines. You won't be hearing what I'd be hearing, but it still sounds pretty good, I reckon. So what just happened then is, obviously you can't hear it, but the Cessna Caravan is down on final now, and he's talking to air traffic control now, just requesting final touchdown. So if you see he's over there, just you can see him, and I think that's the Pappy over there. I can't really see too well, but Sitka is an amazing landing strip to land at. I definitely recommend using the benefits of having missions on Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is one of my favorites. It's so realistic. It's the most realistic you can really get to the software that we have. I mean, looking straight now, in front of the runway is a cruising ship or something like that going past, and it's just the tiny added features that makes it look so good. Like in my first video, I was landing at Princess Juliana International Airport, and I saw, as I was landing, to the right of me was a flock of birds flying off, and I just think that's pretty cool because yeah, you can do that kind of thing, and it costs a heck of a lot cheaper to do a simulator than real flight. Not obviously, yes, you could fly in actual planes, and yes, that would be really cool, but if you don't have the money or don't have the time on your weekend or something like that, if you push for time, you can use a simulator. Yeah. No, it's not as good, but I like it. I mentioned in my first video, I think, that I've been using simulators for about 3 years now. About a year before that as well, but that was kind of just playing around with it. Back then, I didn't know what I wanted to do as a job. These past 3 years have been me dedicated to aviation and wanting to get my license and that kind of thing. So a little bit, we'll just be turning around here, and I don't think they'll call it onto final yet, although we're lined up at a final. Air traffic control won't reach us for a bit later because we're not too close in. So I've got my flaps down most of the way now, and I'm coming in a little high here, but you have to keep in mind that it's a lot of water around, and it's not like if you were to go to a massive aerodrome or something like that. If I don't land on the strip, I land in water. So it's nice when you're doing it like this. It's nice to stay high and be sure of it, as long as you're not gonna overshoot the runway, which I don't think I'll do here. You wanna, what I usually do is, oh, there's my flaps that just went down. What I usually do is I hover over, and when I get to about where the PAPI lights is, that's when I touch down. So it's what you'd usually do, but you want to hover for a lot more. You want to stay just floating on top of the runway until you actually touch down. And yeah, just try getting slow. Obviously not too slow, but just get in there nicely. Don't rush it. It's amazing how the sun's reflecting off the water there. It looks really good, I reckon. But that's just what I think. Other people might think I'm stupid or something like that, but I think it looks good. Alright, so I've just been called in by air traffic control. I'm on final now. There's no taxiing involved in this mission. You just land and he tells you did a good job. It's like the Eagle Creek mission, the one that I did previous to this. You just land it and he says, wow, that was a great job. You go, thank you, thanks a lot for that. But no taxiing. Somehow when you've ended the game, the plane just resets itself. So, yeah. Ooh, there's a random bit of wind there. Just bring me to the side of it. Oh, a nice, cool ocean breeze. Nothing we can't control ourselves with though. When you're flying, you really have to think about where you're flying. Like high hills, there'll be lots of thermals, so you'll go up and down and everywhere. And then near oceans, it'll be all windier, all that kind of thing. You have to keep in mind. Ooh, that was a pretty good landing, if I do say so myself. Well, this is the third video now that I've done. This was in one of a lovely Cessnas, as you can see. So yeah, no taxiing involved, nothing fancy like that. I'm not overly sure. I think Sitka's just a touch and go runway. Obviously there'd be some form of parking, but not a lot, I would have thought. Well, that comes to the end of my video. Remember to like, favorite and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time for a lovely video on whatever comes to mind. Take care.